Hey folks, July 4th weekend, I gotta smoke up some chicken wings. And I got a certain way that I like to season mine and let them marinate overnight before I put them on smoke for about an hour and a half. Some hickory and apple wood. And then I remove them from the smoke, and I've got another process of marinating them, and then they go over direct heat and get a little char on them. So to do these right, the way that I like them, you have to use fresh chicken. You can't use those frozen deals in the bag they sell, because if you look close, it always says on the bag, may contain up to 10% salt solution or something like that as a flavor enhancer. Well, that's a bunch of bull crap. If I wanted to enhance the flavor, I put the salt on there myself. The reason they do that is to put less chicken in the bag and sell you a pound of chicken that's got an ounce of water in it, so they come out better. And in the end, that water that's in the chicken just doesn't produce good chicken for this type of technique of smoking and charring them off. So I buy them fresh and process them myself. And if there's any, skin tag hanging, I take that off. And I usually just bust mine up with a cleaver, and you start right here on this little winglet and just go right through there and knock it off and out of the way. And then to bust the drum it from the wing up, just go straight down, and there's a joint in there, and you just take it apart like that right there. Very easy to do. And it's cheaper to buy them fresh anyway, so you're getting better quality, better taste, and you're saving money. Now you can also use a regular French knife, a butcher knife, for this, but you're not going to. It's just more. It's more work. You got to go in and just really work it down like that. So you can do it, but the cleaver is the way to go. That's how you bust them up and save yourself some money. End up with a better product. And I'm going to end up doing about 100 of these. So I got quite a few to bust up. And that's why I like to use the cleaver. It's just less work. Alright, I'm going to get all these busted up, and then I'll be back here shortly, and I'll go through one way that I season these. I got several different techniques and formulas. This is one of my go-tos. Be back shortly. Alright folks, I got all this chicken broke apart. A big old bowl here sitting in the sink. And that was about 60 wings, so I'm going to end up with about 120 pieces. And that's about all my smoker will hold. If you're doing a small batch, you can actually do these on like a Weber kettle or something. Just put your coals and you lump wood off to the side and do an indirect smoke, and then put them back over them coals to char off. These wings, the skin got quite a bit of fat under them. If you don't get them over direct heat, they always end up chewy. I've never had a wing that was just straight smoked that wasn't chewy. They got to go on some kind of direct heat. So I'm going to do these in batches, get them seasoned up here. Now, Anytime you handle chicken, you gotta wash your hands, especially when you're fixing to start touching something else. That old chicken, it'll mess you up. It takes a little more time if you don't want to be spreading stuff all over all your bottles and everything. You gotta wash your hands. I put some gloves on, take them off. Now, the first thing I'm gonna put on here is some Cajun Creole blend. And this does not have no salt in it. And there is no rhyme or reason to the amount of product. Just put on there whatever you think it needs to be. Because I don't measure nothing when it comes to these. And then we got some garlic powder. Some onion powder. Some tarragon. Some Jamaican Jerk seasoning. Not a whole lot of this now, I can tell you. It's got some nutmeg in it and it'll mess you up if you put too much on there. Chili powder. Some plain old poultry seasoning. Black pepper. Paprika. That's mostly for color. It ain't doing nothing else. And a little bit of Sazon. When you're doing this many, you really got to do some batches. And all of that is going to have some more, I can tell. You want it all to be nicely coated. Kind of like that, all the way around the chicken. Let's get some more in. Same thing, Creole. Garlic. Onion powder. Tarragon. Jamaican Jerk. Chili powder. Paprika. Black pepper. Sazon. Ooh, it smells good. All them herbs and spices. Now, it's very rarely I cook chicken that I don't marinate it in some kind of dairy product. Usually buttermilk. But for these smoked char wings, it don't get that. Now, if you want them to be hot, you can add some cayenne pepper or something to them. In this mixture. But the main ingredient here is just that Creole seasoning. And I buy that stuff by the quart because I go through it. I get it off of Amazon. And like I said, there's no rhyme or reason to the amounts. Just put on there what you think it needs. If you don't like garlic, don't put that on there. If you like something more, add more of that. I'm plumb out of paprika. These are getting just about where they need to be. I tell you what, these things are good. When they go on that smoke, I try to smoke at about 225 to 250. And that chicken starts heating up. Those seasonings really penetrate into that skin and get into that chicken. And then when it's charred off, it just locks it in there. Gives it a little bit of a blackening effect. Delish. Makes them extra good. I think I'm going to add a little bit more black pepper. And that's about it. Those are ready. And I'm going to put them in the refrigerator and let them just soak, marinate, just like it, all night until in the morning. Yeah, those look real nice. Alrighty, be back with this tomorrow. Alright folks, I got some charcoal briquettes going in the bottom of this little vessel smoker. And it's up to about 175 right now. I got the vents on the bottom wide open. And I need to put some water in the tray. I'm going to sit there and let that come up to probably about 225, and then I'll cut them vents down to about I don't know, the size of a pencil that could go in there. And then I'll add some hickory. Oh, that's apple, and then a little bit of hickory. And I got about 25 or 30 briquettes in the bottom. I just need about an hour and a half smoke out of them. And we'll pull them. I got another marinade bath for the wings to go through after they've been smoked, and then they'll go on direct heat on the Weber kettle. Be back shortly. Folks, this thing's come up temp. I'm going to go ahead and put some of these wings on this bottom rack. I think I got just enough space on this smoker for all these wings. Now when you're smoking little pieces like this, you gotta be careful not to crowd them up so the smoke can circulate around them. Try to get about half of them on the bottom rack, the other half on the top rack. Yeah, that's about all that's gonna hold. Wings are nicely marinated. All that good seasoning. got a space up here too. I guess I'm gonna have to crowd them a little. Yeah, they're gonna be a little crowded. It is what it is. Get that on there. I gotta get this chunk wood in the bottom. Little hickory, little apple. Alrighty. I'll set them bottom dampers. Close them off pretty good. Let these smoke for about an hour and a half. And then be ready for the next step. Oops. These wings have been on this smoker here for about 30 minutes. I'm going to take a peep at them. Well, that's looking pretty nice. Starting to get good color on them. Temperature holding about 210, 225. I'm going to let them go at least another hour. And then get them pulled, get them in another marinade, and then char it off real nice. And you can smoke these on a regular grill. You know, just take your coals and push them to one side. And offset heat and smoke them. We'll be back shortly. Alright folks, these are coming up on an hour and a half. Take a look at them. I did have to throw another chunk of wood in there. You quit smoking on me. I already cut the dampers plumb down because this is winding down. And they're looking real nice. Oh yeah. Real nice color. Some of them don't have as good a color as others because they're too crowded. They just had too many wings. And matter of fact, I'm going to rearrange these a little bit. Move some of these to the center out to the edge. The bottom rack cooks a little faster and a little hotter than the top. So I'm going to do that and let them go about another 15 minutes. Temp a few of them, make sure I'm good. And then we'll move them off to the second stage of prep. Alrighty, I pulled some of these off and rearranged them a little bit. They've been on there about 30 more minutes. Some of them just wouldn't to my liking on smoke and doneness. But they're ready to go now, so I'm just going to pull them off here and we'll get them in the kitchen. Get them basted with another product. And then they're going to go on regular grill. Be back here in a minute or two. Alright folks, we got these wings off that smoker. And they was on there at least an hour and a half. Some of them was on there a little bit longer than that. There was just too many on there. And some of them didn't get real good circulation. So I thinned it out a little bit and gave some others a little more time. They look pretty good. Some of them got real good color on them. So the next thing we're going to do here is I'm going to add some Italian dressing. Now, Italian dressing is perfect for this because I want to introduce something that's going to allow this to char, and it'll add a little more flavor in the process. And the key is, when this goes over direct heat, get the fat rendered out of that chicken skin so that it ain't rubbery and chewy. And I found that this works very good at helping that process along. Let me get another spoon, get them stirred up. Get these coated a little bit here. And I may actually brush them a little bit with that while they're cooking. So I'll try to get them all tossed and coated with that Italian dressing. And then I got the grill out there heating up, a little Weber kettle. Some coals out there going. And they'll go on that in just a few minutes. Be back shortly. Folks, we got this kettle pretty hot. I'm gonna go ahead and get these on some direct heat. Let them char up a little bit. They sizzling. I'm gonna put the lid on here and let them sear up for a few minutes. But when that fat starts coming out of that chicken, it's gonna do some flaring, and that's fine. The flame can lick it, just don't let it burn it plumb up. So you might have to really listen to it. You hear it flaring and carrying on, pull your lid and do some rearranging. Between the fat that's in the chicken skin and that dressing we put on there, just usually flare up. I'm gonna try to get at least half that batch on there so they ain't out here in the heat all day long. That's about all it's gonna hold. Yep, one, two more up here. Alright, put the lid on there. Let it go a few minutes. Be back shortly. Alright folks, these been on here about 6 minutes. I hear them sizzling and carrying on. So I'll take a look at them, see if they're charring up. Oh yeah. Nice. Just like it. Just roll them around a little bit, turn them over. Let them all get some good heat. Get the kicking. I'm gonna keep fooling with them. Get them turned over. I'll be back shortly. These are charring real nice. I got some flames kicking here, and that's good. That's what you want. Just as long as it don't get out of control and turn into an inferno. But just keep them rolling around and keep them turned. One side of my grill is a lot hotter than the other side for some reason. This side over here just didn't light up good. But that's alright. That gives me a place to move something if I need to get it off of direct. And I've already pulled some of these. Like that one right there, it's ready to go. Just keep working on them. Get back shortly. So I done pulled the first batch off there. You can see they got a nice little little char on them. Look pretty good. I done put the second batch on, and I'm gonna put the lid on and start all over again. Let them start heating up. Let them start dripping. Then when they start flaring up, I'll take the lid off and tend to them. Be back shortly. Batch is dwindling on down. I'm just about finished. And, these is looking pretty good. And you can see the fat bubbling out of some of these. That's what you want. You gotta get that fat out of there. It'll be done here in just a few minutes. I'll be back shortly. Alright folks, I got them finished up. I didn't know whether or not I was going to survive that, because whoo, it's hot today. Standing over at grill trying to get those finished. Whew. And no matter what, the smoke follow you. There's some kind of science behind that, I'm sure. No matter what side of the grill you go to, you're going to get smoked out. So these are done, and I'm going to toss them in a little bit of this buffalo sauce I made this here just a few hours ago. Look pretty good. And you know, these are not easy to do. There's quite a bit of work to them, but boy, I tell you, they sure are good. They're worth it. Just generally, I try to do it on a day that's not so darn hot. But these are going to a lot of different places. The neighbor wants some, and I got a little thing to go to this evening. I'm going to take them, and people at work want some. So, it is a lot of work, but they are delicious. And, you know, instead of finishing them up on the charcoal grill like it, you can smoke them and, you know, drop them in the fryer and fry them afterwards. I just like them like this a whole lot better. There's something about that little bit of char that's formed on that chicken that just is packed full of flavor. It's just delicious. I'm gonna get these tossed up and have me a little bite of something here and a beer. Alright. Gonna be delish. Get all that goodness out of there. Garlic, parsley. Whew. Alright, I ain't gonna say it's dinner time, but it's time for a bite. Till next time, peace out.